being creative. So if you're in a situation where your case is further along and the probation service is involved, you can apply under the Data Protection Act to the police and the CPS separately for that information, and you also apply to the probation service for that information because the documents are passed to them. Now, the probation service, being somewhat more remote from the original issues, might just freely give you those documents where those that the police are hiding from you, they don't disclose. We've used that very method on a number of occasions. So think about it creatively. Who will have the information I want, and make these separate applications? And a very good thing to do also is, about 2 or 3 months after you've made that application, make another application for all the correspondence that's gone between since you made that application. Now, the reason I say that is because we've obtained documents which said, do not give them that document in the correspondence. So it'll point you. So it's all about being creative.
Is the Freedom of Information Act the same as the data?
It's not the same as it, but it's another method to use. And we were hoping, having yet achieved it here at any of our meetings, to get someone who is an expert on the Freedom of Information Act. We've never actually done that, have we, as far as I recall? Yeah.
I wrote to the Minister of Justice, Jack Straw, and said I wanted to have all the addresses of everybody that had dealt with my case under the Freedom of Information Act. He gave me a whole long list of different constabularies, fingerprint departments, forensic departments, and I don't know how to word the letter in sending it off to all these organisations to give it. What he did say was you have to pay a fee. You have to pay a fee of £10 when you first send your first letter off.
Yes.
And if the organisation that's got the information, and they think that it will take so many working days to do it, and come over the cost of £600, then they just write back and say it's too costly to do this. That's it.
Well, it's not quite it, but there are, you're quite right, excuses are made as to why material can't be disclosed to you, one of them being that it's impractical in the amount that you're asking for. But if you know about that and you look at it carefully, you can ask, not for everything, but look for specific documents. I want these named documents. Then there's no trouble, of course, to obtain those. But I've forgotten the name of the body. Can you recall that you complain to if you do not get disclosure?
It's the Commissioner for...
It's the Office of the Information Commissioner.
Thank you, Malcolm. I thought you might know.
Could you just repeat that?
Malcolm?
The Office of the Information Commissioner.
Well, here's a copy of the letter that anyone can copy if they so wish. You had a question there?
My situation is slightly different in as much as I'm a friend of a guy who's just been sentenced. Am I still able to collect the information that you've just been speaking about, from the solicitor?
Yes, you are, but you need permission from him to do that. A letter of permission to you, of course, but if he also writes that to the solicitor giving that authorisation, yes, you can.
Because what I did on his behalf, I raised a number of statements and also a petition which the solicitor has now apparently sent off to their head office, and I'm not expecting to get it back, but I would like to have those back because there's a lot of information in those statements which I think can help you. Yeah. But unfortunately, the way things are, he's been sentenced and we're going to start from scratch now.
Yes, just a simple authorisation will do that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes?
Going on with this gentleman here, the Freedom of Information Act, I've written to many times, and it is effective, given Budapest Jubilee House. It is free. You do not have to pay £10 under the Data Protection Act. You have to pay £10.
That's right, yeah.
But under the Freedom of Information Act, it is free.
That's for us, let's swap it.
Well, I don't know.
That's the Data Protection Act you only have to pay, not the Freedom.
No, not the Freedom of Information. Right. Getting on to the next thing, polygraph tests, like in other words, people, lie detector tests, like I know are being used in various other countries, America one. Why are we not allowed to use a polygraph test in this country?
I'm not an expert and I'm not going to try and answer that.
I don't know, the courts don't recognise them yet, but they are used in certain circumstances, and that is not evidentially, but used as a guideline.
Journalists love them, don't they? It makes for good television if somebody is trying to support a member of their family or a friend in their support television, which is overturned.
Yes, they're used in that way, and there is an organisation that helps people who insist that they take a lie detector test before they take on their case, but that's just their personal preference and the way they do things.
Well, I wrote and I begged the Prime Minister at the time to be able to take one. He refused. I think Governor Scotland, Secretary of State, they refused. Everyone right down the line, they all refused. The nearest I could get was, yes, we will give you a polygraph test if you wish £750 on a pensioner and vote. But I think the most prolific liar is a human being. So why can't we have a polygraph test to back it up? The second saying is you make a statement to the police, but the person makes a no comment statement. That is used for or against him, whatever. Right? In exactly the same way as a polygraph test, do you agree to have a polygraph test at the date of interview? If the person says, yes, I refuse because so and so and so and so, well then that is used in his trial. Because I've got I've written, and by the way, we talked about corruption, I've written the corruption shop in my case, and I've often taken 100 polygraph tests, and I've been right even take one. So, I think polygraph test issues should be more approached.
Well, it's an entire debate on its own, isn't it?
It is a lie, or it's not a lie.
Yeah.
It's something that has happened for us, isn't it? That Jeff, the person who's in prison, in our case, has actually said, I will take the right to protect. If that is something that they're willing to do, how would you actually go about setting that up for them?
Because that's I'll speak up, we can't hear it.
Sorry, I was just asking how you would go about that. How you'd actually go about setting one up.
How would you obtain a lie detector polygraph test?
Yeah.
Well, you just go on the internet. That's easy enough. There are companies that offer that service, but of course you would pay for it. But that is really not a difficult thing to arrange, as long as you pay for it.
Just to clarify a couple of things you said earlier, with the summing up, the judges summing up, can you get that if you haven't lodged an appeal?
A transcript of the judge's summing up. Yes, you can, but you pay for it. But quite often, bear in mind that if you are lodging an appeal is important because the barrister, of course, then will get a copy of that. And once it's in existence, all you have to do is pay for the photocopying of it, because it can be very expensive, depending on how long it's summed up for. If it's for several days, you're in trouble, aren't you?
And then the other thing was about the PII.
Yeah.
The judge in our case made a PII order. It was, we think, to do with protecting an informant. So what information can we get about that, the reasons why the judge made the order?
Well, he should make a written reason. Have you seen his written reason why he made that order? well, would be your first port of call, wouldn't it? Look at that. But there is a case which relates to informer status, and that it should be disclosed. RVH&C, isn't it? It's on the website anyway, that particular case. So have a look at that case and see if that might relate to your case.
Who do we go to for the judge's written reason to that judge?
Well, to your solicitor in the first place, to obtain it.
Should we, it's gone 12. I thought maybe we should...
Shouldn't move upstairs with the other one?
Yes.
Right. You tell them all about it. Thank you, Andrew.
As I said earlier, I mean, it's really important to us that you go to Stuarts Workshop, which is taking place next, in a room just upstairs. So the stairs are just by the entrance there. It's important that you give Stuart your views of what you want to see from a website, how you think it'll work, and hear what he has to say, because he's come up with some very bright ideas which could improve our websites and make them more useful to all of you. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to improve them. We want to be able them to give a better service and a better purpose. And we're talking in the first instance about the Innocent website and the United Against Injustice websites, which are most people's first port of call when looking for information on the net. We want to make those really useful, and hopefully we want to help with other people's websites, so all the different websites relating to miscarriage of justice really give you what you need from them. So if Stuart hears from you, that'll be really good, and it's important you go up and tell him. After that will be lunch, and our main meeting at 2 o'clock. Food will be available from the hatch there, which over in that corner, which is closed at the moment, but there's lots of food prepared on sale, I'm sure, at bargain prices. And so head there after you've been to the workshop. Is there anything else needs to be said at this stage?
I just want to remind something we spoke about before, which was the Data Protection Act. I've got some copies here. If anyone wants it, please come to me and I'll give it
to you. But the Office of the Information Commissioner of Whitehead House, Waterlane, Winslow, Cheshire is where you get all the information, and should you not get that disclosure you require, that's who you make a complaint to. So I've got that information here if anyone wants to see about it.
This annual meeting was financed personally by the members of United Against Injustice. For those who have received a free copy of this DVD, please make a donation of £5 or more if you can to the address below. Thank you. Your donations will be appreciated.